Hello, everyone. It's time to eat, drink, and be merry with your hosts, Lisa and Nancy.
Well, Juneau, Alaska stands on one of the largest wilderness areas in the United States. It is the largest U.S. capital city by area, and it is known for wildlife, fishing, glaciers, shopping, and a whole bunch of good food. And I believe brews and wine can be in there too. There's all kinds of good stuff. So we're very excited because we have Midgi Moore back on the show. Midgi is the owner of Juneau Food Tours, and she is joining us on today's Big Blend Radio second Friday food, wine, and travel show that we always host with the International Food, Wine, Travel Writers Association. And you should check them out. Go to ifwtwa.org. If you're a travel writer or a blogger, a photographer, or a destination or a tour operator that like Midgi, and you can go to her website, because what's really cool is even if you can't get to Juneau, Alaska, she's got this whole new cool thing where you can get a taste of Alaska delivered to your door. So check it out, JuneauFoodTours.com. Midgi, welcome back. How are you?
Thank you. It is really great to be back. For all things going on, I'm hanging in there, doing all right, trying to stay busy.
Yeah, this has got to, because I know the last time you were on the show was a couple years ago, I think maybe 3 years ago, actually.
Yeah.
And you were on with Travel Juneau, and everyone, traveljuneau.com is also another great website, talking about winter in Juneau, Alaska, because a lot of us will think, oh my gosh, it's too cold, we can't go. And you totally, changed our thoughts about that. But having COVID, that must have changed things even worse, like worse on that side. You know what I mean? That people, yeah. This is, so are you open for business? Let's start there.
Well, yes and no.
Okay.
When COVID hit back in mid-March, and it started becoming more and more apparent that cruise ships were not going to be arriving, our whole city just really hit the wall. I mean, it was terrible. It's been devastating for the whole state. But for me, what I did was I had my meltdown like everybody else, and stared out the window for about a month, going, "What am I going to be when I grow up? What am I going to do?" And then I took a step back and said, "All right, well, your business has changed. What are you going to do about it?" And I had actually been on a webinar with fellow food tour operators right about that time, and I was definitely a sad sack and, feeling pretty miserable, and it showed because I was just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And one of the things that came out of that was a conversation about doing food tours in a box. And I had actually had that idea 2 years ago and completely forgot about it because I was so busy working on the tours themselves and building the company and, just operations day-to-day thing, that I completely forgot about this idea that I wanted to have as a mini box of specifically for people to buy if they were doing cruises for Christmas. They give them out as Christmas presents. They could actually have something to wrap up and put under the tree. That was the original plan. But then after I got off that webinar, I really thought about what would that look like. And it just occurred to me, it's like, people can't come to us. We need to send Alaska to them. So instead of doing this little tiny box, I did an annual subscription service. And so now every 3 months, you can get a different box. It has food items, it has an art piece or a cultural piece, and it will also have travel information so that you can start planning that trip for when you're able to finally come up and see us.
And you get mustard in the fall one. Mustard.
And you get mustard in the fall one, exactly, which is a mustard that's made up in Fairbanks. So our first box, our summer 2020 box, took off really well. And that one we focused on Southeast Alaska. We had the Travel Juneau guide. We had the Travel Alaska guide, which goes in all the boxes. We had smoked salmon. I put in salmon recipes, all these different kinds of things. And then the fall box, which I have curated, you can see the picture of it on our website. That actually, I really wanted to focus on what do Alaskans do in the fall when they go hunting, and they turn the meat into these different products. And so basically you can make your own Alaska charcuterie board with We're going to include a sausage. It's a reindeer sausage. We have venison jerky. There's the moose tard. And there is one of my all-time favorites. It's a kelp marmalade made
Ooh.
out of Sitka. And actually, for the first 3 years of our tours, we served that on our food tours. And then there's a couple other items. And then there's an ulu, so that you can, which is an Alaska native knife, so that you can slice your sausages and things, and you can, put together your own board.
Wow.
So we're pretty excited about it.
I
So
think
that's the
what's
fall
cool.
box.
Yeah, Nancy and I are both jumping up and down because what's great is this is about supporting local businesses as well. And that's what I love about it.
Exactly.
It's like a community box, here's the
It
taste
really
of
is.
Alaska. Yeah, and you're helping people there because I know there's, shops that, I know, a shop like in Central California that all they do is share, have local foods, olive oils and local
Mm-hmm.
books. Everything has to be local for her to sell it in her shop. And I
Yep.
think that's what's so cool about what you're doing, because I think a lot of people now, I think it's going to take, I honestly think it's going to take a little bit longer than a few months to get things moving back where it is. But
Oh,
I
yeah.
think COVID has delivered new business ideas to entrepreneurs, and it's those who get creative and go out there and kick some butt that will survive and continue on. And I think survive and thrive, you've got something that can always be there. And once
Exactly.
someone who's been on your tour, is going to want that. They're going to go like, hey, I remember this, I remember that, or hey, something
Mm-hmm.
new. And and for the holiday season, are you doing anything new and different for winter? Are you at
Oh,
the
yes. Yeah, so for the holiday season, we'll have the box that will come with a subscription. And you can order, if you don't want to order the full year, you can order just one box at a time. If you order the full year, you save $5 a box. And the shipping is included.
Wow.
But the holiday box, it will be, we'll have, I'm curating it right now and getting with partners. The nice thing is that because I'm doing this, and it's not just Juneau, it's all of Alaska, I'm able to utilize and connect with partners all over the state. And that's been very exciting.
Oh, this is cool.
And so, yeah, so I have like the fall box, the moose tart comes from Fairbanks, and the ulu comes from Anchorage, and the sausage comes from Fairbanks. And so I'm able to reach these different areas. And the travel guide in it will be the Fairbanks travel guide, because they do a lot of winter and fall travel, particularly for the Northern Lights. And so for Christmas, I'm reaching out to different partners, and we'll have two boxes. We'll have one that's the standard box that comes with your subscription, but then we're going to have a big bonus box that'll be about twice the size, and it will have even more stuff. So if you wanted to do a big family gift for somebody, you could buy just the one box. And it'll have things from everything for adults to kids, stuff from Santa Claus house, I'm hoping, and putting all these different things together. And that has been the most wonderful aspect, is reaching out to these businesses that are just sitting on inventory that they had hoped to sell over the summer. And I'm able to say, I can take a little bit off your hands for you.
Yeah.
Let me buy some and put in these boxes. And everybody's been receptive and exciting about it. I think what's been really encouraging is how Travel Alaska has, Travel Juneau, visit or explore Fairbanks. All of the CVBs have been just great about, yeah, man, we want to help you with this. We want you to succeed, because I'm helping their business partners and their members as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we were at a winery, and we were talking about, like, I was saying, well, I want to like a little 6-pack of little bottles of wine, so
I don't want
you
little
could
bottles. What are
no
you
no
talking
hold
about?
on, so that you could taste a little sip of each kind of wine from a winery or a group of wineries, in little tiny bottles. You do your tasting, then you can go order the big bottles.
Yeah,
You
I
don't-
think that's actually, how cool would it be
Yeah.
for wineries to do? You remember back in the day when the airplanes used to give you the little bottle of
The
wine?
dinkies,
Dinkies.
yeah.
Dinkies.
Yeah, and it was like 2.5 cups, or maybe those little plastic cups. So how cool would it be if you went into a winery and you could buy a flight of those, say
Yeah.
3 to 6 or 4 or whatever, and
Yeah.
then you could take that home you can mix and match them and take it home and do your own wine tasting with your friends,
Yeah.
or you could pick them up and have them when you're traveling. I mean, it's a great incentive,
Well,
and
and
it would actually encourage people to buy the bigger bottles.
yes, and
Exactly.
Nancy was saying too that it could be a virtual event because, like you were saying, I mean, Zoom is like taking over the
Yeah,
world, right? And we're even
yeah.
using it today. Hello. Anyway, can you pay us now for that little spot? But anyway, no, I'm just kidding. But really, that's how we've all changed a lot of what we do, and the virtual events are virtual events because people do need things to do and we do need to move forward in life. No matter, everyone's
Exactly.
different in travel, and some people really can't if they physically can't because of any kind of health issue. They still deserve to have moose tard. Everybody should have moose tard. I want moose tard. But
Well,
my thing
yeah,
is, do a virtual event, like virtual tastings.
yep,
Like Nancy with the wine, she was like, "Hey, everybody can have these little dinky
Yeah.
bottles, but have a virtual tasting with the winemaker and make
Yeah.
it an event." And that's kind of like what you're doing. It's like you're doing a virtual tour. You're doing a tour in a box.
exactly. And so a
Mm-hmm.
lot of my colleagues too, what we're doing is they're doing like virtual cooking classes. One of my friend Stacy with Carmel Food Tours, she actually has a cooking class, and she emails you the shopping list, and then you have the scheduled date, you have all the ingredients, and
Yeah.
then utilizing Zoom, you're cooking with that chef, and it's interactive. You can ask them questions and things. And then my friend Lauren,
Cool.
who owns Local Food Adventures in Oakland, she actually took it one step further, and she created this little ice cream box. And inside, so Rocky Road ice cream originated out of Oakland, fun fact.
Huh.
um,
Oh,
and so
yum.
she makes a little ice cream box which has the nuts and the marshmallows and a little ice cream scoop and the history of the ice cream. She sells that for just like a little food box, but she uses it as a corporate training tool so that if you have a group, Zoom meetings are just getting so boring. And if you have a group of people that are wanting to do something fun, she does this fun ice cream based training with you, and everybody in the meeting gets this box.
I want
And
them.
I'm doing this. Yeah, it's super cool. It's I think it's called Her Sweets,
Hmm.
and I'm doing something similar, putting together a training box called Swimming Upstream, and it has
Oh,
smoked salmon in it. And then it'll have a little mini cutting board. It'll have information about Alaska salmon, but it's more like a crisis management training tool of how we're all swimming upstream and navigating new waters, but we're all in it together, and we're all going to thrive, and we're going to create something new out of that,
ooh,
and we're going to spawn success, so to speak. And so it's a training that I do via Zoom, but every single person gets this box of a tangible item, and they will make their own salmon dip. So
see,
it's the food tour industry is evolving in such an incredible way. I'm just so excited to be a part of it. And then the other thing that how I spent my summer is Lauren, my friend in Oakland. She and I actually partnered together and created a whole new marketplace online for food tours to sell their tours called Global Tours Connect. And it's a website that is packed full of food, history, and culture tours that people can go to and say, "Oh, I'm looking for a ghost tour in Memphis. Oh my gosh, there's a ghost tour. I could buy that." And then every ticket that's sold, a portion of the ticket sales goes to every single tour operator who's a partner in the program, because we do a bonus pool so that we can help our industry, even just pennies at a time, help each other out.
Cool.
that
So
is awesome.
Very cool.
I
it's
love
been
that.
a
That's
lot of
really
fun.
smart. And I think, yeah, that is, talk about community. You're building business community. And I think, we always think community is our back door, but you're able to do back door and global, which is
Yeah,
fantastic. It is about community. That's the only way, is to rise up together and work together. And you're obviously doing it. And I just think too that you're giving people this experience, and some people just don't have the resources or time to go to Alaska or
exactly.
Hawaii or wherever they want to go. They may just not be able to do it regardless of COVID. And here it is, you get a little bit of something from the magic land of
Mhm.
Alaska, which,
Exactly.
oh
Yeah.
man.
And what we really wanted to do when I was curating the first box is I really wanted people to sit down, go through their travel guide, start planning their trips while they're eating this amazing Alaskan food, and just be immersed in Alaska, even just for a few minutes, and be
Ooh.
able, because there's so many people who have reached out to me who canceled their trips and everything, and they're just heartbroken. They didn't want to get their cruise canceled or have to cancel or whatever. I mean, we're all feeling the pain, and so I can say, hey, I have this opportunity for you. If you'd like, we can send Alaska to you. And so that was our model, is if you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
Ooh, and you could do Alaska movie night, taste Alaska movie night,
Exactly.
and watch movies.
Exactly. That's a
Yeah.
great idea.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I want
Yeah.
the arts experience. I want to watch a movie with Alaska in it. You could watch Into the Wild, but don't watch the end.
Yeah. Really sad.
But you could watch movies that have Alaska and eat Alaska while and eat, drink,
Exactly.
and marry Alaska. That's what it's all
Yeah.
about. Eat, drink, and be merry Alaska with a movie, or listen to music from Alaska. Kind of immerse yourself, read a book, and eat
Yeah,
your snacks.
And I'm writing that down, because every 3 months a new box comes out, and no two boxes will be alike. And so when I designed this, I also designed it with longevity. And I keep telling my husband, I said, this is a long game. It's not, I'm not going to see the big ROI for at least a year, because it has to get some legs under it. People have to start buying it. They got to tell their friends. They're going to, it's just like when I started the tour company. But what's really exciting about it is the opportunities that I have. One of the big things that I'll be doing, and I'm still in negotiations with my landlord, is my office is upstairs in a historic building, and I'm asking to get a storefront that's downstairs that will allow me to sell the boxes to the visitors as they come through. So, because it's right on the waterfront. But the cool thing is it will also become a stop on my tours. So I'll bring people right there. They can, all they have to do is we'll run your credit card, do a mailing label, and boom, we're going to ship your souvenirs home to your family.
Oh my gosh.
How about a video to go with it, with the box?
Yeah. Okay. So the video, I have a video, but I'm not really the video queen editing and all of that. So I'm actually looking for a teenager here who can help me. But yeah, I am going to be doing a full video, and I did do a video that just is a close-up movement of the box. That's actually out in my social media for the fall box. But the one that I really want to do is actually talk about what's in them and why we're doing them and how you can order and things like that.
And then each where you get the samples of food, each restaurant could say something on video about the food.
Well, I don't get them from restaurants. I actually use manufacturers, and they're all over the state. But yeah, that would be a little more difficult logistically. But I can talk about, like, this is the Moose Tart, and this company is owned by so and so, and they're located here, and we wanted this in the box because we feel like this is going to go great with your sausage, but it also you're helping out an Alaska family.
Oh, that's so nice.
That way people will get a little sense of the history and where the food came from, so they understand what they're eating, which,
Yeah, and in each box is a list of all the food items and why we chose that. I do a little description. It's a letter from me thanking people for ordering it, and then it just says that, so your tastings include, and it's each item and why we chose that. And
it's like community supported agriculture, CSA. It's very similar to that, but this is like this whole other revolution, and it's something that people could do around the country. Really, it's almost like you could create a franchise. Come on, Midgi. you got a franchise. I'm serious.
Oh, I know. I wish. Actually, tomorrow at 7 a.m., Lauren and I are hosting a Global Tours Connect webinar for food tour operators wanting to put together boxes, so that we're going to teach them how to do it and kind of talk them through it, because no one knows your community better than you. And of course, you go into this business to talk about your community and the food and how that connection is made. And you need to be able to articulate that through a box. And it's not just what's in it, it's how you sell it and how you present it and how you tell the story.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. I
You
really
need
do.
Thanks.
You need the stories.
I know.
No?
The
I want a
stories are
pine cone.
everything.
I
Yeah,
want a
you
pine
need the
cone in
stories.
mine. I want a pine
What?
cone. I don't know. I just want a pine cone to come with it. I know it's like it's almost like Christmas comes in every season. I've
Yeah.
got and I think the holiday season, and I think it's something really cool for people to, people who have friends and family that love Alaska. Like I love Alaska, and I've never been there, but I've wanted to go for my
She wants a
entire
photo of a
life.
moose. She needs a moose.
So if someone
She
Oh,
sees
wants
me,
a
okay.
moose.
it's about moose. It's about moose. It's about everything. I want to go to Alaska. That's it. Period.
Well,
And
you need
so
to come
like,
up and see us.
oh, we are. I mean, we travel full time documenting parks and public lands across the country, so we will get there. And
Oh yeah, you got to come up to Glacier Bay.
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
Mhm.
We've got. I mean, everything in your backyard. You've got moose. You got bald eagles. You got whales. You got cute
Yeah.
towns. And listen, this is the deal. All my friends, did you just hear about this Taste Alaska box? I don't know where we'll be, but when you want to send something for the holidays this year, I'm just saying, I'm a willing recipient. You can mail it to us. I think we'll be in Little Rock at that time, but you can mail it to us there. You can do it. You can do it.
Well,
So I think that's
you
the
know,
thing for people wanting to go to Alaska and have never been there. I would think that would be an amazing. I would want that. I want that
Oh,
just
thank you.
to get
Yeah, and
into
the nice
the
thing
spirit of
too
it.
is that the food items in it are shelf stable. So, and I learned this with my first box is that like if we mailed it to somebody, they might not be home for a week or so.
Hmm.
And so I was like, there's nothing in it that's going to spoil. Your biggest fear would having it stolen
Mhm.
just because somebody might do that because there are those
Yeah.
people. But it's if your neighbor picks it up for you, it's not going to spoil in it. So I
Mm.
look for those items that like if we do put a candy in it, we try to have the candy. It has a date on it of at least 2 weeks out, but generally it's still good. But the law says you have to have an expiration date. So,
Hmm.
but most of that, I haven't had anybody say that it was expired or the dates were wrong or it didn't taste good. The cool thing, like the smoked salmon, it's vacuum packed. That's actually shelf stable for up to a year or more.
Are you
So
kidding me? Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So it's really that's one of the ways Alaskans actually preserve their food.
Hmm.
So it's so we look at all these things and everything, especially the food items, everything's made in Alaska.
I,
That's super important to me.
I love this because also I just want to give a shout out to tour companies, especially the small business tour companies, not like, you know what I mean? They're
Yeah,
handcrafted tours. You're talking
they
about
are.
the tour operators, know the people, the place. And when you go to I mean, I know that when we go in a park with a park ranger, our experience, it just goes into the thousands % of how awesome it is because you understand this plant that you see, you understand all the different things you're experiencing. Where sometimes on your own, yeah, you can have a good time, but when you actually get that understanding behind it, and especially when you're paying for a trip to go somewhere, you might as well dig in and do it right. And I think that's what's also great is just getting that I like what you're doing with the global tours because that is
Thank you.
important because that whole we need tour operators because
Yes,
they know where to get the best photos, they know, and it saves us all
exactly.
time, to go out there and know what we're doing. So I think that's really exciting. Do you have what's the website for everyone to check out?
Oh, it's Global Tours, TOURS, Connect.com.
Okay, and then for the boxes it's
JuneauFoodTours.com.
junofoodtours.com.
And the boxes are called Taste Alaska, and there's a link right on the homepage.
And you're still doing private tours, right? And some
I
tours.
am doing private tours. They're on hold right now because we did go into our off season. So, but I am going to be curating some private tours for the fall, just to have work out with partners what we want to do and have a route ready. I did do a few. I think like I fed 24 people this summer compared to the thousands that I normally do. It
Mm.
was a little surreal,
Oh.
but
Mm.
I'm trying not to go, oh, what it, darn it, and
Mhm.
oh, and
Well,
all
we
that
have better words
sad.
than that.
Yeah, well, we're on the radio.
With wine at the same time. We have to have wine
Yeah,
and wine.
but the thing is though, is that, you have options, the thing of how you respond to situations. And I'm not saying I'm perfect in any sense of the word, but I mean, I had my meltdown. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? We just bought this house. I don't want to lose my house. All these thoughts go through your mind. But one thing that actually really resonated with me, this isn't a hobby for me. This is my livelihood. This is my job. And I am not going to give up. And I am an entrepreneur. And in my industry, we call ourselves tourpreneurs, to quote Shane Whaley of Tourpreneur. And with, and tourpreneurs, we're tenacious and we're creative. And I had a friend tell me a long time ago that when things get rough, don't be flexible. You got to be fluid, because flexibility still has sharp edges, but fluid, you just go with the flow. Well, you just go with the flow. You still change, you change, the river's going to change and shift, but you're still moving, keep moving.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I did.
That's the nature of travel right there.
It is. It is.
Totally
And I
what
actually,
travel is.
one of the things that I really dig my heels in on, absolutely not, is any kind of AI tour. I don't want to do anything with like artificial intelligence or virtual tour where you're sitting on your couch and you're wearing some goggles and it feels like you're in Alaska. You're not in Alaska.
You're not. Have movie night with the Taste Alaska box. That's what you can do.
Exactly. At least with the Taste Alaska box, I'm not substituting that for an Alaska experience. I'm giving you an experience that you can taste Alaska and you can consume Alaska. You can experience it through the travel guide and everything to get you ready to come to Alaska, because there's nothing that can ever compare to that. So I just don't want to go down that path of saying that this is going to be a great substitution, because it's not. There's nothing more real than being in destination with a person from that community telling you about that community.
Right
you
on.
can't beat that.
We're just time-wise, I want to let everyone know your website, juneaufoodtours.com. And Nancy, real quick, seriously, real quick.
Okay, I was going to say, I used to lead tours to Kenya, and I can't imagine doing it from a TV set. Not working people. No.
Do movie night. Do movie night, or watch, National Geographic stuff in Alaska. Get out there with the wild, and everything it's all about swimming upstream, and it is a brilliant thing to do. It's good for us to do.
Thank you.
And you're doing it. So thank you so much. Midgi, you're an inspiration, man. You rock.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Right on. Everyone, juneaufoodtours.com. We want to give out a shout out to the International Food Wine Travel Writers Association. Awesome organization. I mean, look, that's how we're hearing Midgi's story of what she's doing, and we can all participate and be part of it. So ifwtwa.org. Keep up with us at bigblendradio.com. And you know what? I love this, Midgi. You gave me an excuse to play one of my most favorite songs in the world. It is called Oh, Alaska. And this is by Robbie Boyd over in England. And take a listen. Thanks so much, Midgi.
Thank you.
Take care.
Oh, Alaska, won't you give me shelter and take me under your wing? Oh, Alaska, I heard you're the last great place the earth has ever seen. Oh, Alaska, won't you take me somewhere I can go to get a change of pace? Oh, Alaska, can you paint me a picture of your beautiful embrace? Dreaming of home, can you see it? I've been here for too long, can you feel it? I'm moving home to the last frontier. Well, if you gotta move on, let me hear it. You got to be strong to achieve it. We'll do it our way on the last frontier. Oh, Alaska, I'll look north to the future. That's how I want to live my life. my Mother Nature. I can't wait to see your northern lights. Oh, Alaska, come a little closer. I have nearly reached your silver shores. Oh, Alaska, you're not like the others. You can show me what I'm looking for. Dreaming of home, can you see it? I've been here for too long, can you feel it? I'm moving home to the last frontier. Well, if you gotta move on, let me hear it. You got to be strong to achieve it. We'll do it our way on the last frontier. Gotta move on, let me hear it. You got to be strong to achieve it. We'll do it our way on the last frontier. The last frontier. The last frontier. The last frontier.